What's up, Modern Contractor TV? Teddy here, and in this episode, we're sitting down with Bodhi from Stryker Digital. Bodhi has a very similar background to me. He's from my area in New York, right outside of New Jersey. He comes from the dumpster rental business, okay? Entrepreneur, grew the business, sold it, got into marketing, and now he's just dominating the local SEO marketing space. Stryker Digital is #1 power player when it comes to getting your business ranked in the map pack, which is the #1 lead source for my previous business, and how I generated so many calls was being #1 in the map pack within a 40-mile radius, which is unheard of in home services. So we dive into that in this episode of how do you get your business ranked in that map pack? How do you get those cheap leads, those warm leads? We really dive into exactly what the process is and why you should be talking to Stryker Digital to get your business ranked. Let's get into it.
You're listening to Modern Contractor TV, the show for home service pros who want to build real business value, scale profits, and create a company that doesn't rely on them day to day. Hosted by entrepreneur, author, and advisor Teddy Slack, a builder of multiple seven-figure service businesses. Each episode brings you real-world strategies to help you grow, systemize, and prepare for a profitable exit. Let's get into it.
All right, Bodhi, how you doing, man? Welcome to Modern Contractor TV.
What's up, Teddy? Thank you for having me on. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to have you on. I'm excited about this conversation, man. I feel like we come from a similar background, so I'm excited to kind of get your history here and find out what you're up to today, you know?
Awesome. Yeah, of course. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start, I guess. Let's go way back, man. I mean, did you go to college? Did you what'd you do after high school? And how'd you get into, I know you started out in corporate world, right? And then you got into
a little bit of corporate world. I was in the corporate world in college. I actually used to tell people I'm fine with being a corporate slave because I was one of those guys that were like, be a corporate slave, invest your money into real estate in the S&P 500, you'll get rich in 30 years, you know? Like I always had that mindset. Like everyone else.
That was drilled into us.
That was just drilled into us, yeah. We had no choice, you know? You had no choice. You just think that's the way to go in life, you know? And went to college. I was a shitty student. I'm allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I was a shitty student, terrible student. Like my junior year in high school, I had like a 1.8 GPA, just terrible student. But read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, believe it or not, when I was like 17 years old. Like every other entrepreneur that changes their life at 17 years old. Like I'm sure you've heard that a million times. Did that, went to college, got for marketing and social media marketing. Then when I was in college, I'm a really good networker. And when I was in college, I was listening to Gary Vee in marketing class. Yep. And Gary Vee is a big guy, like work your 9 to 5, invest the rest of your money, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, word, started getting internships at marketing agencies. That's how I learned local SEO at the time. And worked for a company called Active International out of New York. Did work for Kroger and Firehouse Subs. And then the next summer I worked for Benjamin Moore, the paint company, where I did local SEO for about 50 other stores. Learned the local online game, blah, blah, blah. A kid on my lacrosse team, I played college lacrosse. His dad owned a big asphalt company. His dad was good friends with my now wife's grandfather. And they were like, hey, we got to get Bodhi and your son together, and they should start a business. They came to me with about 3 different business ideas, and the dumpster one made the most sense. Because with the dumpster business, I was able to handle that business from this desk right here at my parents' house, and I lived in New York. And I was able to run the business from there between dispatch, billing, all that stuff, back office, while having a driver in place and not having to actually be out on the field. So I could scale it from home and not be hands-on, which was a whole entire, like the only way I was doing one of these service businesses if I could do that. So I did that. Bought a business with no website, no Facebook, no social media, absolutely nothing. Implemented that all in place and scaled the business pretty quickly.
Oh, so it was already an existing dumpster business with what, 1 truck, and I had a driver and everything.
Yeah, so we took a total gamble, dude. The business, I've posted pictures of it on Twitter before. Like I pretty much inherited a business, had like 20 dumpsters, one 2007 F750, C7 Cat engine, about 380,000 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
A driver who was a retired Teamster, and he was about 63 years old, and then a list of just customers.
Wow. The
books were terrible because the owner only accepted cash. Like it was just a total gamble, but I had the right partner in place at the time, where I was like, I knew enough people, he knew enough people. We had an existing customer base. We can easily take this business from 300 to 600 to 800. And we clearly saw that. But I bought the business when I was graduating college. Like I graduated college in May, bought the business in March type of deal.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. And your partner, was he more hands-on? Like, was he like what happens if the guy didn't show up? Like, let's say the driver doesn't show up. I mean, you guys just kind of screwed, or how would you kind of?
No,
we
we'd get in the truck. We'd get in the
would,
truck.
yeah.
Yeah, because like something my dad instilled in me and my partner's dad instilled in us was like, you can never have your employees hold you hostage.
Yes, 100%.
Any business. And
yes,
if my driver was like being a bitch, like,
yeah,
I'd be like, get the fuck out of the truck. I'll go in the truck and I'll get it done, you know? And
you
like,
have to, bro. Yeah, that's how it's done, bro. That's the only way it's done. Otherwise, you're screwed, you know? I mean, I've heard stories.
Yeah, and now what I do, it's like I know so many people who've gotten fucked over because they buy an electrical business.
Yep.
And then their workers just like, fuck you, I don't want to work for you and leave, you know, and just get fucked over. So that's very important for anyone starting a business, you know, or getting into SMBs.
No, 100%. I mean, I ran into that with one of the competitors when I was in the environmental space. These two guys that came from corporate had a ton of money. They stroked a check for like $2 million for this business, but they never operated an excavator, never drove a dump truck, and they literally just drove it right into the ground because they had no industry experience at all and couldn't even jump in if they wanted to, you know, which is a major problem.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. I've heard so many stories over the past year or two, just people that happening to.
Yep. No, absolutely. So, yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, so that's a tough business because, as far as the licensing, I mean, we talked about it a little before we started recording. I mean, the 901 license. I mean, so I'm assuming that was already in place, and then you just kind of did a transfer of ownership when you did the application.
So I was in New York with the 901 license. We actually just subcontracted all our Jersey work.
Okay.
We subcontracted all our Jersey work because we couldn't touch Jersey or get into Jersey because the laws are crazy.
Oh my God.
The laws in New York are also crazy too. With Jersey, it's like you get like by county.
Yep.
Where in New York, it's by town. So I operated in about 10 different towns. I had to get 10 different licenses for 10 different towns.
That's crazy.
Just to dump at the same dump.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to get in the environmental business was the red tape and very hard to scale all the heavy equipment. I mean, you wrote.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I mean the heavy equipment. It's insane. I would need $1 million in equipment or $500,000 in equipment to generate $1 million in revenue.
Yeah,
which so that's very hard to scale. And then all the maintenance. I mean,
that's why I got out of it. That's literally why I got out of it because I got to a point where it's like, if I do really want to scale and take this to the next level and get a triaxle truck, I got to take on a shit ton of debt and still make the same amount of money for the next X amount of years and do double the work. Yes. So for me, it just wasn't worth it. But I 100% agree with you. I do like the garbage business in New York, New Jersey for that reason, hard barrier of entry, compared to a place like Texas or South Carolina. Like anyone could just buy a trailer and rent out a dumpster.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean, you said this, you mentioned this the other day on X about, the companies that are really niche down, that are hard to get into, barrier of entry, the profit margins are way higher. I mean, that's the one thing I'm learning now because I made the pivot from environmental to consulting. Now I'm going into roofing full time and, I'm seeing the different business models and the profit margins. I mean, my profit margins were absolutely insane in environmental, but the scalability wasn't there. It was very difficult to scale, but the profit margins were huge. Where roofing, the scalability is there. You could pretty much do it anywhere in the country, but the profit margins are really thin. Yep. That's the main difference.
Yep. No, of course. And what made you go into roofing?
So I have a friend that's in roofing. I did some consulting with him. He has 4 companies in South Jersey, like really far south, Atlantic City area. Nice. And he comes to the door-to-door world, and he's in solar, and he started buying these roofing companies, but he didn't have experience generating leads. I'm like, well, bro, I have a lot of experience with digital marketing. The way I dominated my last industry was local SEO was the map pack. Hands down, no, it was the easiest industry because I had 12 competitors, and they were all over the age of 65. Yep. So for me to come in, I literally hired a freelancer to buy backlinks. I hired a guy to just constantly post on my Google business page. I got over 800 reviews, and I just dominated the competition. Within a 40-mile radius, if you typed in any of my keywords, I was number 1 with the most reviews. I got hired every day.
That's the beauty of the Northeast. That's the beauty of the Northeast. People always say, screw the Northeast businesses, blah, blah, blah. That's the beauty of the Northeast is like all these guys are 60 plus, and like you can just, that's the beauty of the Northeast markets. But like they're pretty seasonal, but like, dude, like compared to the outskirts of New York versus the outskirts of Dallas, like the competition in New York, there's more money and it's way easier to compete. Yeah.
So what I'm finding now, and the reason why I decided to pivot to hire you guys at Stryker Digital is because, when I first got into the roofing, I just launched. We're new in November. So, November was my first full month. And I kind of went the same direction. Like, all right, I'll go to Upwork. I'll hire some freelancers. I'll manage it. But the competition, there's thousands of roofers as opposed to I was dealing with 12 competitors. I'm like, all right, this is a different game I'm playing. So that's why I decided to pivot to you guys and recently hired you guys to take over because, it's I see the value in dominating that map pack. It's undeniable. Once you get there, it's the cheapest leads. It's the most warm leads, right?
And they're layups.
Yeah, they're easy leads, bro. I mean, the people that are coming through there, they're Googling for your service and you're there and you're just dominating. So like, I see the opportunity where I feel like a lot of roofers, and maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, but they really don't see that opportunity. A lot of these guys are buying leads. They like to buy leads. It's easy. They're like, no,
especially in Jersey. For some reason, a lot of these Jersey roofers like to buy leads and door knock.
Yes, that's what I'm finding. And I'm like, yeah, door knocking is a whole nother beast. You got to know, like, you got to have that really dialed in. You got to know what you're doing. You got to come from that background, I feel like, to get that dialed in. I mean, obviously, there's companies like Power Home Remodeling that are crushing that business model, but it's a completely different model than, it's not really marketing, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's sales. It's door-to-door sales. How much of your business is insurance in Jersey?
I'm not doing any insurance.
Good.
That was the one thing I'm staying completely away from. So I did some insurance work in the environmental space, and I hated it. You know, they rip apart your freaking invoices. They slow pay you. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. So, and I just heard a lot of negative stuff about in the roofing space. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just do all retail because I'm used to retail sales. I'm used to dealing with homeowners. I'm used to selling environmental cleanups at 15, 20 grand a pop, which is not an issue for me. So, but generating the leads is a lot of competition. So that's why again I wanted to hire you guys to kind of help me dominate the local SEO space for sure,
Yeah, no, roofing's our bread and butter. Like we work with some of the biggest roofers you see on X. When it comes to insurance, though, for anyone listening, I know like 4 people who've gone out of business this year because of insurance. They were doing 500K months, and then insurance owes them over $1 million, and it's like, I won't pay you out for 4 years or something crazy.
Yeah, you're done.
And they're done. I've seen so many people. Like people don't realize that roofing, if you're able to handle your free cash flow, in the long run, you're going to be way more successful than the guys that's trying to sell as many leads as possible and run up an insurance tab. I see this happen so many times in the last year.
No, absolutely. And the cash is there. If you do retail, I mean, you're getting paid at the end of the day. I mean, some clients are going to try to beat you for a couple of days here and there, but for the most part, you're collecting at the end of the job. So the cash flow is amazing. That's a lot of people don't realize in business, the cash flow is king. If you don't have that, it's oxygen. If you don't have the cash, it's impossible to operate.
Yeah.
And you could have an amazing business, which is super profitable on paper, but if you're not collecting that cash, you're out of business unless you have a huge amount of money you can tap into somewhere. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. That was my biggest problem with the garbage business. Like there was times that I had $20,000 in the bank. I owed Amex $25,000, and then my customers owed me $50,000.
Yes.
And I was always juggling that like crazy. Like we always kept $20,000 in the bank was like $0 to us.
Yep.
And we were just always juggling that at all times with the free cash flow.
Yeah, no, it's constant, man. I mean, that's why a lot of these times so when I exit my business, the guy who bought it, he got a SBA loan and had a seller note and everything like that. And, it's a completely different business to operate once you strap with that much debt, and it's got to be operated correctly and it's got to be, it's got to be scaled properly. Otherwise, the guys that are buying these companies with these SBA loans, it's kind of scary. Think about it.
Dude.
Right?
That's another thing. Like being in the marketing consulting space now, I see this shit all the time. Like I know 2 people this year who've gone under because of that.
Yep.
One dude bought a business with an SBA loan, found out the business owner that sold it to him was a fraud, cooked the books, and now he's actually going to lose his house for it. Not the old guy, the old business owner. Like the SBA space. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy lawsuits down the line.
It's too easy, in my opinion, to get the loan. And the thing is, nothing is guaranteed. So if you don't know how to operate that business at the same exact level that the seller's going to operate at, really, ideally, you want to grow it. If you can't grow it, I mean, you should have no reason to go in there and put that kind of debt on a business because you slide back a little bit. I mean, you could choke that business out real quick, and it could be a very profitable business. I mean, the business I sold still nets about $1 million in profit, which is like half of what I was netting. But the kid's is suffering right now because it's like he doesn't have the profit margins that we had. So, but it's still a very profitable business. I mean, compared to any other business, like holy shit, on paper, this company's making $1 million a year. Yeah, okay, but it's barely paying its payments. You know what I mean?
My long-term plan for myself is like, okay, that guy's struggling. That's making $1 million in net profit. Like, okay, he's struggling. When he really wants to sell out, someone like myself is looking to buy into those businesses. I know that we're in a bubble right now and it's eventually going to pop. When it does pop, I will be looking to buy these guys up for cheap who've been default from their SBA loans. Like, there's going to be a whole playbook behind that eventually, like just buying up these guys that just have defaulted.
Yep, no, 100%. And with you guys having the marketing dialed in, I mean, that is like a huge part of the battle. And that's why I feel like a lot of these operators are good at their craft, but they don't understand marketing on that level. And
especially roofers.
I'm seeing that, man. Like a lot of old school guys that have been doing roofing for 20, 30 years. And, a lot of these guys, it's funny because I send out letters to a lot of the competitors too to see like, hey, are you interested? Maybe, selling out. I did a mini roll up in the environmental space. I bought 3 competitors over like a 10-year period, but all like, not like big cash out. Like I didn't get SBA loans. I went in there and said, hey, I'll buy you out over time. I'll make payments, kind of work deals like that with guys that were going under, that were old school. Yeah. So I tried to do the same thing in the roofing space. And what I'm finding after talking to some of these guys, I mean, some of these guys are doing like 5.5, 6 million top line revenue, no marketing, not even a CRM. I'm like, holy shit. Like, but they're doing really well. They got a subcontractor model. They manage all the jobs. They do all the sales. So it's not really a business, right? It's like, if you think about it,
So it's funny you say that. My brother-in-law's about to buy a business right now that it's gutter supply store. They just supply gutters to roofers. That's it. And gutter companies. And dude, no marketing at all. It's doing like $3 million a year and profits like 1.5.
Wow.
And there's no marketing amazing. At all. There's no website. There's absolutely nothing. And I'm like, dude, you're going to kill it. Like,
yeah, it's a gold mine, bro.
It's a gold mine. And people don't realize that. And there's a lot of that stuff in the Northeast. Like, there's a lot of gold in the Northeast.
No, there absolutely is. And then, the reason I decided to go into the roofing is, like I said, my buddy was in the space. I learned a lot about it. I had my roof done at my house, and I'm like, okay. And I have experience. So back in 2018, I flipped 24 homes. So I have experience dealing with subcontractors, renovations, full gut rehabs, all that. So I was like, all right, this business model is mainly the main reason I want to get into it. I'm like, all right, so this is pretty much marketing and sales and logistics, right? Yep. It's, compared to environmental, where I needed every township needed a permit. I needed an inspection. I needed the DEP needed to be involved. They wrote a 300-page report. They had to get reviewed by the DEP. My office had to write it. Like, it was just a lot of red tape. And this is like, all right, I could scale this thing. The operation part of it's easy, but marketing and sales is what you got to dial in, and that's what it comes down to, right?
What's the worst thing you dealt with in environmental space?
As far as what, the complexity of operating
like
it, or
government, or like, I'll call it bureaucracy, just like BS that you had to deal with.
Yeah, so like every guy that was on site, so even my lowest man in the totem pole that I would hire for $15 an hour as a labor, they all needed to be certified, right? So, and if they weren't, if I had two guys that were not licensed, they had to go to the state, take a written test. It was not easy to pass. Like, these guys were like, I can't pass this. Some of them couldn't even speak English. They're like, I don't know how to, you know what I mean? Like, so if I didn't have guys that had that license, they would heavily fine me. Stop the job. Now I got a massive fine. The client's looking at me like, well, you're sending unlicensed people. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, and they're like randomly show up on your job. So like that started happening a lot more towards the end. Because they were cracking down on some of these fly-by-night guys that were trying to get into it. That was I sold in 2022.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it's not that long ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, I started in that bit. My father's in that business, but he does mostly commercial environmental work. Yeah. And out of college, I started a residential division. I grew that, and then I left the family business, went off on my own. And so I've been in it since 2004 full-time in that space. And it was just a difficult business to really scale. And I was at the same kind of crossroads as you. I'm like, all right, if I want to take this from $4 million to, $5-6 million, I need another $1 million in equipment. I need a bigger yard. I'm like, I don't know. I probably need a full-time mechanic. I mean, at the end, we were dropping like $300,000 a year on maintenance. You know?
Nah, dude, the CapEx is insane. Like, I was lucky enough to like have the right partner where like his dad already had a huge yard for his asphalt yard, where like we had a little yard in the back to store our dumpsters. But like, if it wasn't for his father and like his connections and whatnot, we wouldn't. Dude, I would have been so unprofitable. Like, I wouldn't have made shit. Yeah. It's just a really tough business to run. And when people come to me and they're like, "Hey, I want to start a dumpster business. I have $30,000." Like, bro, fucking keep working your job. Like, I tell people you need $100K minimum for that business, and that's financing your shit. Like,
that's
you really need like you really need $300K to really like move the needle.
Yep. No, absolutely. And the profit margins are tight, right? I mean, I would imagine there's a lot of guys with dumpsters, and it's like roofing a little bit, where it's a commodity, right? So, it's all about customer service and, being there when you say you're going to be there and doing the right thing. That's how you kind of stick out, right? Yeah.
No, 100%.
Now, as far as the, pivoting from that, so what made you decide, like, all right, I'm done with this dumpster business. I'm going to get out of here and I want to get into the more marketing space,
Me and my business partner were just like, he wanted to focus on golf. And like, I was more of like focusing on marketing, like, so I became obsessed with marketing my business. And I was like, holy shit, I can do this for other people in the dumpster business. I rent dumpsters to roofers, bathroom remodelers, plumbers, whoever.
Yeah, so you had a lot of connections. Yeah.
That's doing construction. And I'm like, they're like, dude, we're seeing your dumpsters everywhere. What are you doing? Like, you're blowing up. Your service is getting worse, pretty much. And I told them what I was doing. They're like, can you do that for me? I was like, yeah, of course. The more leads they got, the more dumpsters I sold.
Yeah.
So started selling them SEO. And I met this guy who was opening up a cannabis store, a weed shop. And he was like, bro, I need marketing, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, great, I'll start helping you too. I was making all this extra money on the side from the dumpster business. And one day I went to my business partner and I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, he was already drifting away in golf. I was like, there's no reason for us to do this anymore. Like, let's just sell the business. So pretty much we sold the business and I went all in on the marketing thing. During this time though, my Twitter really started blowing up, and I just was just like building in public on Twitter, showing people how they can do SEO themselves. And it got to the point where Twitter was generating me way more revenue than the dumpster business was, and way better margins and way more scalable. So I said, screw it, let's go all in on the marketing business. That's exactly what I did.
So what are your thoughts now that you've been in it now? How many years have you guys been full-time in Stryker?
3 years now. 3 years and 1 month.
So you hear a lot about it, and this is something that I contemplated too. So, coming out of the environmental space, I went into some consulting. I did a little bit of consulting, more like mostly local guys here, like people that I know. But, I consider that, marketing agency. But then you do a lot of research on it. You hear a lot of people complain about it because of the churn rate and all this stuff. I mean, can you give some insight on that?
Churn rate's about 7%. We just went to the Hormozy event, and our constraint in our business, we thought it was churn. Our constraint really is we're signing the wrong people. So people who we went all through all our numbers and whatnot, people who work with us for 9 months work with us forever. Or forever, like people who work with us for 9 months will work with us for like 2+ years, where people who work with us under 9 months are usually $500,000 or less in top line revenue. And just, don't make a lot of money. It's not a great business, So our constraint we found out was we are just signing the wrong people. That's why most marketing agencies cry about churn, is because they're signing the wrong people.
They're taking on whoever,
Yeah, they're taking on for whoever. So you need to do that when you're starting out. But something we've realized is like that one shitty customer takes away from 3 good customers.
Of course, you're dealing with the complaints and the bullshit.
We're at the point when we deal with those complaints, we're just like, dude, here's your money, goodbye. Like, not worth it for us. We're better off. And like, that's why people complain about churn and whatnot, but it's all about how you like run your business. Like, we run a pretty tight ship. Every single customer we work with has a Slack channel. We have 3 calls to do the first month. We have reports twice a month. Like, you always get to know what's going on, and that's why we've been successful and have a pretty good following from it, because we're like a no BS marketing agency. If shit's not working or like we need to move the needle, your budget's not enough, we'll tell you, and we're like, hey, it's probably not worth it to continue with us, or it's going to take this amount of months. It's all about being transparent,
No, 100%. That's super important. And as far as what you guys specialize in, it's the local SEOs. You want to dive into that a little bit? I mean, do you guys get into PPC or
we get into PPC? Depends who we're getting in with. Like, our biggest PPC client's a roofer who spends about $130K a month on PPC. So we get into PPC if it makes sense, because sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people will come to me with PPC and have $6,000 a month to spend. Roofing companies spending $6K a month is not going to work, because your cost per click is about $100. You're lucky to get 6 leads a month for spending $6,000 a month. It's tough, dude. And you don't even know how good those leads are,
Of course, they're not guaranteed to close.
Exactly. So it's really tough. Like, we're very particular with who we work with on PPC. When it comes to local SEO, though, we work with people. They need to have at least 25 reviews and a physical location on their Google business profile. And if they don't have that, we tell them the first month we need to do everything we can to get you that. Like, it's a no. It's
hands down. You have to. If you don't have an address, I try to explain this to people. They're like, well, "What do you mean? I use my house and I don't want to show my address at my home." I'm like, well, then you're beat, bro. Like, you're not going to show up. Like,
And people say that to me, and I'm like, what? Like, some people are just afraid to make money, or just some people just can't get out of their own way. That's the biggest problem with the marketing agency. Is people can't get out of their own way. They think they know better. Blah blah blah. And it's like, you've been stuck at $500K a year for the past 4 years. Like, brother, like we got to make a change, Like, you got to make a change. So
and it's not that big of an investment if you think about it. Like, I got an office in Bridgewater. I don't need an office, right? I mean, I just launched my business. I mean, I don't have a full office staff, but I knew I need an address. It's costing me, I got a little bit of a nicer office, and it's cost me $900 a month. You know what I mean? Like, but think about it, $900. I mean, if I get one lead out of that, like, the cost of that is nothing. I mean,
people don't realize that, and it drives me crazy. We're like, my best performing customers listen to me. Like, they listen to me. I had this one guy who's in Raleigh, North Carolina, a house cleaning company. We took him from $500K to $1.5 million by just getting him 5 more Google business profiles.
Wow.
And like, a $1.5 million house cleaning company is netting like $300 to $400K a year. Like, and you're not doing any work, Like, you are doing work, but like, you're not getting your ass dirty, like, type of deal.
No, that's awesome, man. And now you guys manage all those profiles. I mean, you're going in there and you're delegating on where reviews are going, and you're working that.
Yeah, it depends. I've built a pretty big team. I have about, like, my back end team. There's about 40 members on my back end. Customer facing, I have about 15 members who talk to customers. Back end team's about 40 members. What's awesome about this business, though, is like, the week ChatGPT came out is the week we started this business
Wow.
without even realizing it.
Yeah.
So we have so much stuff dialed in with AI. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, that's huge, bro. I was just listening to the podcast around Claudebot and all the stuff that's going on now. I mean, it's absolutely insane with this AI agents. Yeah, it's crazy
Dude,
what's happening.
It's insane what's happening. And like, people don't realize, like, there's only 2% of the population is really going to take action.
Yep.
Like, the other 98% are squirming like sardines, where like only 2% are really going to take action. If you're not on social media, if you're not on Twitter or whatever, like, everyone like likes to be dramatic on there that we're all doomed, but only like 2% of the population is actually going to implement anything people are talking about.
Yeah, and I just feel like at the speed that it's moving, you're going to dominate the competition. I mean, if you dial it in, and you're going to be able to cut your costs. I mean, you know, and just run so much faster with the technology that's coming out, and then the speed that it's coming out is absolutely, it's kind of scary if you think about it. You know what I mean? I mean, when we were growing up, you're around the same age as me. I mean, you know, we saw the dial-up internet go to the internet, and it's like it felt like a slow kind of progression over time, and now it just feels like things change at lightning speed. You know?
Yeah, no, I got my first iPhone. I was in 8th grade. When the iPhone 4S came out, that was like when the iPhone 4S came out was the real like change in life, you know, in technology. People don't realize that. Like, that was the really big change. So I was in like 8th grade when that happened. Yeah. And yeah, that changed everything, you know. And now with AI, it's like I hit that at the perfect time, you know.
Yeah, AI. If you're not playing with AI right now, you guys are going to be left behind for sure. Anybody who's listening in, I mean, it's a game changer. I mean, you know, I basically talk to it all day. I never type. I talk to it. You know, use Whisper.
Use Whisperflow? You use Whisper?
Yeah, bro.
Dude, you should hear my business partner Andy talk to fucking Whisperflow, bro. You know, we fucking crack up. We crack up because he'll talk to Whisperflow all day into Claude or ChatGPT.
Yes, yeah, that's the way you got to do it. I mean, there's no other way to do it. I mean, it's a game changer when you figure that out, and like you just have a conversation with it. It's like talking to another human that has all the answers. Yeah,
like I just got a Breville espresso machine, which is like figuring out how to build a bridge. It's that difficult to start. And I was literally just sitting there with ChatGPT, like talking to it, and was like, "Hey, how do I start this? Like, why doesn't it work?" And it's telling me exactly, and we got to figure it out.
Bro, that, and then what I found is super amazing too is you could take photos of everything, bro. Like I had a problem with my pool filter. I took a photo of it and I sent it with the model number and everything. And it gave me a step-by-step instruction how to change it. I was like, what the fuck? This thing knows everything. Like, how does this thing? It literally knows everything.
Yeah, like we're literally turning into androids. You know, we're turning into cyborgs, like with our phones. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane. Now they have all these agents that are AI agents that have its own social media profiles now, and they're talking to each other. It's absolutely crazy what's going on. Oh my gosh, yeah. So let's dive into a little bit about the local SEO, because I know a lot of guys are like, all right, a lot of contractors, as you probably know. I mean, you know, what's local SEO, what's on page, off page. They start talking about all these different types of SEO. I mean, what do you think holds the most leverage for contractors today to really get better rankings in the map pack section?
Getting a physical. If I'm any contractor, you need the bare minimum: a Google business profile with a physical location, as many reviews as possible. Like two most important things. Posting on your profile actually doesn't do anything. What I like to tell people is to make 3 posts on their profile just for like click-through rate, increases your click-through rate. But like posting on it all the time doesn't do anything with local SEO at all. We've done
like
a lot of
photos specifically.
Yeah, we've done a lot of just like the posts on the bottom, the update.
Okay, yes, yeah. The
photos are great. Try to post a new photo on your profile at least once a week just to keep it active. Yeah. And then fill out your profile, as in like there's services on your profile, there's products. It's all quick DIY stuff you can do with ChatGPT. Yep. What makes what we do different, we own about 500 cell phones, give or take. What we do with those cell phones is we set up proxy addresses and proxy servers around your service area and click on the directions button of your Google business profile. Yep. We send entity signals towards Google, and it increases your rankings pretty quickly. Yep. A lot of big corporations do this, believe it or not. People think it's crazy, but like every single Popeyes in America does the same thing as us. So if you look up fried chicken near me, Popeyes will probably always show up. When it comes to on-page SEO, H1 tag is most important. The H1 tag is the first line of your website. So like #1 top-rated roofing company in Morristown, New Jersey is a pretty good H1 tag, like communicating with the algorithm what your service is and where you offer that service. And then when it comes to on-page SEO, just building out every single location page in your service area.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's something I never had to do in the past, but now obviously with all the increased competition, that's why I hired you guys. I did hire a guy that was helping me, to build out these pages, but it's so crazy. You start building them all out and they're all in the back end on my WordPress. And I'm like, well, I can't see them on the front end. He's like, oh, you don't need to. It's for the algorithm on the back end. I'm like, nah, I don't know if that's how this works,
There's some sauce too with those location pages. Like we embed a map on the footer of every location page. So if the location page is Morristown, New Jersey, we'll take the map from Google Maps, we'll embed it on the footer of the location page, but we'll take the HTML code, we'll take the top 3 keywords in your market. Roof repair, Morristown, roof replacement, Morristown, roof inspection, Morristown. We'll take those 3 keywords, we'll actually put it in the HTML code of the Google map and put it on the footer of every location page.
Oh, wow.
So what we like to do is connect your location page to Google Maps to your Google business profile. By doing those 3 things, it moves the needle way quicker than most of your competitors are even doing.
No, that's amazing. I mean, and I read your post in reference to, I guess it's your father. He's starting up a business. And you said you're building
the Generac.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. I'm really interested to follow along on that and see how that goes, man. I think you guys.
Yeah, it's a little like side hustle for my father to keep him busy. He's like an old school Italian.
That's awesome, bro.
He doesn't want to retire. He's like the day you retire is the day you die.
Yeah.
So he just wants something on the side, extra $100K a year to like. And I'm like, sure, we'll do SEO for it and see what happens. It's a good case study.
Yeah, no, you're going to crush that, man. That's awesome. And I read that you're really going in on those local service pages.
Yeah, I can share right here if you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's check it out.
It's all dummy data right now. I still got to make some changes to it.
I mean, what's your recommendation for most contractors as far as like picking those towns, right? So I'm just going through this exercise now with your staff. I mean, should I be just really focusing on like high income
I'll show you right here. So like I was saying earlier, number 1 top rated Generac maintenance company in Rockland County, New York. So what your service is, where you offer it. The 2 services, seasonal service, battery replacement, how we work, blah, 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 some reviews. And then we have all these location pages right here.
Wow.
Generac, I didn't really edit these yet, but Generac maintenance in Airmont, New York. So every single place you offer this service, you build a location page for.
Yep.
And that's pretty much... And then for every single service you offer, so seasonal oil changes in Airmont, New York, battery replacement in Airmont, New York, kind of like that. I didn't build out this whole website yet, but that's just pretty much the beginning of it. The service pages and the service we offer. There's going to be no competition for this, just like environmental.
Yep.
It's going to rank in a month.
It's going to rank. You guys are going to crush, especially if you're getting reviews and everything like that. Forget it. He's going to be overwhelmed to watch. I guarantee you, bro. He's going to have so many calls coming in.
Yeah, it's going to crack me up, because I'm like, you really sure you want to do this? Like, let's see what happens, type of deal.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I mean, I like the business model too. It's a recurring revenue, it's a recurring revenue model. That's it's nice. I would imagine for him to train somebody too to help with the maintenance once you guys scale it up probably wouldn't be too difficult. I mean, you probably get some guys that come from HVAC or plumbing or whatever.
Yeah. So with the oil and the batteries, like that, you do that twice a year if you're a home service business. I mean, if you're a home business owner, not home business. If you're a homeowner, I'm always just saying home service business owner. You get that done twice a year, and then any Generac repairs will just subcontract.
Yep. Yeah.
Those things always break.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I would imagine that's obviously those are bigger tickets, but like you said, keep it slim, keep it lean, you know what I mean? And just doing the maintenance. I mean, what's really the overhead? You got a van, you got a couple tools, you know what I mean? You got your father's pay, I
look at it as like the parking lot striping businesses. Like nobody wants to start a parking lot striping business, so you start one and just take the crumbs.
Yep. Yeah, I just read somebody's post about it. He just bought like a $6,000 striker.
Yeah. What's his name?
He's crushed it, right?
Me and him talk often. He's in a great market. He's not in a great market. I could never live there, but it's in the middle of nowhere, Colorado. You can rank in like 1,000 square mile radius there, type of thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, for roofing, let's talk about roofing a little bit. I mean, because you guys have a ton of experience with roofing, right? So I know you guys work with Sam down in Florida. I mean, where would you say the toughest market is, and like what's your strategy in those really tough markets?
Dallas is the toughest market. When it comes to a market like Dallas, you can only really pick an area. Like if you want to rank in what's a town in Dallas? Like Plano. If you want to be a roofing company in Dallas, like take a market like Plano and just dominate Plano, because Dallas is huge. You can never dominate all of Dallas. It's impossible.
Yep.
So markets like that are really hard to play in. Where Sam is really awesome, West Palm Beach, because there is not as much competition down. It's kind of like the Northeast, this side of Florida.
Yeah.
A lot of old time business owners and whatnot. Where places like Dallas, Denver, is another really tough market to play in because there's just so much competition, so much insurance work. So if I was starting a roofing business, I would probably start in a market where insurance work isn't heavy and dominant.
Yeah. Which New Jersey is definitely not dominant insurance market, I would say, right? I mean,
no, it's weird though. I do hear people in Jersey do insurance, but
yeah,
not as much.
No, yeah, I came across a guy in South Jersey that's crushing it insurance. I'm like, there's no fucking storms here. Where are you getting all this insurance work? You know,
a big client in my dumpster business was just ripping a ton of insurance work their first year, and they stopped their second year in business. Like they stopped because they were like, we can't get any more claims or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of
scammy, dude. But you really gotta handle your cash flow. Like you really have to handle your cash flow, or you're gonna get screwed.
Yeah. And in a place like Jersey, I mean, to dominate Jersey, I mean, what would be your recommendation? Would it be multiple locations eventually? Obviously, dominate the first one?
Yeah, for yourself, it's going to be multiple locations. Like, as long as you listen to us, we're going to fucking kill it for you. And as long as you can get the right review generation, we're going to kill it for you, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, that's it. That's what I tell everyone is, like, if you listen to us, we will kill it for you. We will absolutely destroy it, but you need to listen. Yes. You need to get reviews. You need to get physical locations. Then we can run our entity signals on the back end.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I told Andrew when I spoke to him. I'm like, bro, you guys are professionals. If you want me to tweak my website, you do whatever you want to do, you do it. Like, that's the kind of guy I am. You work with me. Like, I'll let you run with it. And, as long as everything is working and we're chumming along, like, let's go.
I guess Andrew's the better salesman. I guess he's a better salesman than me because I know we spoke a while ago.
Well, yeah, I was contemplating on initially with you guys, and I was like, all right, well, because my experience with marketing, to be totally honest with you, I've always, like I said, I mean, I've always gone directly to freelancers. That's how I've always done it. I mean, since I would say probably 2015, 16. I mean, that's just how I always done it. I went all digital. I went to a CRM back in 2015 where everybody was on paper still in my industry. A lot of them mostly still are. Yep. But I went to a CRM and I'm like, all right, now that I have this CRM, I could actually have people tap into this and I could utilize a lot of tasks. I was just would go directly to one freelancer. For example, for accounts payable, I just had one freelancer that I hired. They were in a different country and they just did AP. Then I had another guy for AR. Then I had a guy for on-site SEO. Then I got an offsite. Then I had a guy for backlinks. And I just went to these specialists, right? And that's kind of how I always done it. But as you know, that's like operating a whole nother business. Now I'm managing all these freelancers. And I never got to the point where I should have put somebody like kind of below me that could have been like my in-house marketing guy.
That's what I expect. That's what I tell people now. There's a guy on Twitter, Isaac Zimmerman.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good. I've been consulting with him for years, man. For years. I've seen him grow that business from 3 to 30, which is awesome. And that's exactly what he does. So he's built out his overseas team, and then he has someone manage it. And then he uses me for consulting on like, yo, fix this, fix that, fix this, fix that, go from there type of deal. Yeah. When you get to that size, though, it makes sense.
Yeah,
for sure. But like,
yeah, I think that you have the most control at that point, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, when I first started out, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to go at that same way. And then, I don't know, it was like, you know what, I'm playing in this is a completely different ball game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I came from 12 competitors to, I had somebody scrape all the competitors in New Jersey because I want to send letters to these guys, right? So I saw that list. I think in 7 counties, it was like 1,800 roofers. Like that's a lot of.
There's so many subcontractors too in Jersey. It's insane.
Oh my God! I talked to one yesterday. He called me off my letter. He's like, "Oh, but he's a subcontractor," and I'm like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "I'm not really looking to buy a subcontractor. I'm like looking to buy a company that's been established. Somebody who's retiring. I mean, that's like my ideal guy. I'm looking for somebody who's a little bit older. I sat down with the guy. I think I talked to you about it. I messaged you about the guy. He actually was in roofing, and his son-in-law started a dumpster company, and he wanted to get out. So I sat with him. He's same thing, about $5 million in top line, but no marketing. I'm like, oh, this could be great. But the son-in-law who's in the dumpster business, I was like, listen, bro, I'm like, I want nothing to do with the dumpster business. I came from that business. I'm like, I know about it. I'm like, I want nothing to do with the heavy equipment, the maintenance, all that shit. Yeah. So I don't think he was happy to hear that because he really wanted to scale that dumpster business. I'm like, bro, we need to concentrate on the roofing. That if I'm going to come in here, that's what I'm going to concentrate on.
It's way more scalable.
Yes.
The dumpster business sucks, bro.
Yeah, especially in Jersey, bro.
Especially, it sucks. Yeah, like my wife's family came from the garbage industry and out of New York City. And my brother-in-law's still really big in the garbage business in New York City. And like, he's in sales though, but he's like always like, on the phone, they forgot to pick up this guy's garbage.
Yeah, bro, yes.
They ran into this building and nicked this. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot
I've gotten
of that.
phone calls to be taking down a whole entire person's gutters because we ran into their house. Like,
Yes.
fucking A, man.
And for what you're making on that pickup, maybe you're making $100, $200 on that can. Like you're not making
No.
thousands of dollars on that little pickup. You know what I mean? So it's like you just ate that guy's whole gutter. So now it's like you're lost money on that.
You lost a week's worth of profit.
Yeah, dude.
That's what I was just telling someone yesterday. I work way fucking harder now. Don't get me wrong. In the marketing business, I work way fucking harder than I did in the dumpster business. But now I make way more money. So that's the only difference. Way more scalable. But with a dumpster business, like, it was good. I was making like 120K a year, 100K a year, you know, give or take. But I wasn't working that hard, you know. I was getting bored. That's kind of why I started the marketing thing, because I was getting really freaking bored. Like, with the drive and everything. I could have made more money, but like I was like, why am I driving a truck all day, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Yeah, bro. I feel you, man. I mean, I came from that world too, where I was operating heavy equipment. I'd be out on the job site operating an excavator, then I'd get in a dump truck, you know, and I did that for a long time until at the end where I was ready to start getting ready for sale. I got myself out of the day to day, and I actually fell back in love with the business. I was like, oh shit, I'm like, I don't have to be here, and this thing just churns out profit. Yeah. But you know, I did that to prepare for sale, to increase the multiple and all that stuff, and then I started to love the business again. But then I sold it, and I got out of it. But I was happy.
What was the selling process? Did you go through a broker, or how was the selling process?
So I actually didn't. So I had a partner, so it was 50-50 partnership, and I had another guy who's a junior partner. So the junior partner wound up getting an SBA loan. He got approved and bought us out. That wasn't the intention. The intention was to go to the market and all that stuff. But he was like, listen, if I could get approved for this loan, can I buy it? And at the time, he was like the PM. He's the guy out in the field running the crew. So he had some experience with some sales. But I was like, listen, I'm like, yeah, I mean, we could make this work. I mean, if you could get approved, let's go for it. And he got the approval. He wound up buying it out. But now, you know, we're almost 4 years into it, and he's you know, it's one thing when you're operating out in the field, but to become a business owner, an entrepreneur,
whole different ball game.
It's a whole different ball game, bro. Like you know all the decisions you have to make throughout the day. I mean, there's a million different decisions, and it's constant. And that's why I kind of talk to him.
Sometimes you're better off being the right hand man of the owner and making 300K a year, 200K a year, and just being that right hand man where you don't got to take work with you home all the time.
Yep.
Such a slept on thing. That's how my dad's been. You know, he's been the right hand man his whole life of a successful business owner and made a really good living doing that. Yep. And never came home with all the bullshit that you have to deal with. Yeah,
and sometimes it's not worth it, man. I mean, I hear some of these guys like, oh, I ran this business, I did all this, and I made $200,000. I'm like, oh my god, for $200,000, I don't know if I get out of bed. I'm like, fuck it, like, you know what I mean? I'm going through. I know what they're going through running that operation for $200,000.
So many people like that, dude. They're making they have these crazy corporate jobs that make they're making $300K a year doing these crazy corporate jobs. Yep. And then they buy a business and they're making $100K a year and they're working their fucking asses off.
Yes.
And they have an SBA loan where if they default on that, they lose their house. Like, dude, what's going on out there is crazy. That's why, like, I'm sitting on the sidelines growing this marketing business. I know a bubble's going to pop and I'll be able to buy another business for cheap and do the same thing. Buy it for 500, flip it for 1.5 type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the nice part about that too is, I mean, you could come in, especially an established business, been around for a while. You don't need a big track record. You could show 2 years, 24 months of clean books, show that you turned it around and it's growing, and now you can flip it. Yeah.
And I have so many connections now in the online space where, like, I can easily flip a business if I needed to. I'll be like, dude, I took this business from 5 to 1.5, put systems into place where you could take it over tomorrow, you know? Like, that would be the goal for me. But that's down the line.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people don't realize like what it takes to operate a business. I mean, it's a constant iteration, right? You're constantly changing things, you're constantly tweaking, you're pulling levers, you're turning this knob. It's not a set and forget type of thing. And I think a lot of guys get into business where it's like, oh, well, it's been churning out $1 million a year. It'll continue to do that, right? Because all systems are in place. Well, those systems have to constantly be tweaked, right? Because things change, and you may have a better system. But if you're not in there constantly changing it and constantly messing with the marketing and tracking the marketing, which drives me insane. The consulting I've done, I'm like, bro, you guys are running PPC. You have no clue how much revenue you're bringing off of this campaign. Why are you putting money into it? Like, you know, like it's like crazy what I see out there.
The amount of times, if I pulled all my Claude notes, like from discovery calls with people, and we always ask the discovery question, what's your best form of marketing right now? What's your like cost per lead? The amount of people who don't know that, like, it's probably in the 80% of people we work with have no idea.
Yes, it's kind of crazy.
What CRM are you on for your roofing business?
I'm on Roofer.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been good so far. I mean, for to get off the ground. I mean, I know a lot of guys are in Service Titan. Once they get to the higher end, but I actually signed up with Service Titan years ago when it first came out on my last business, and I was going to try to transfer everything over, but it was just too complicated. It wasn't really set up for my business.
Too complicated and too expensive.
Very expensive. Very expensive.
It's way too expensive. Like.
Yep.
I invested in the stock. I just got crushed, but I invested in the stock of Service Titan, and it's very expensive, dude. It's very expensive.
Yep. It is, and it's a complicated program to work. Like and they have consultants you could hire to come in.
I was gonna say, my man, I have a friend who he gives me a lot of work. He has an agency for just setting up your Service Titan.
Yes, there's a couple of them out there that are actually doing really well. I mean, because it's that difficult to implement, and that's what people underestimate. And when I built my CRM in 2015, it's a Citrix product. It's called Podio, yep. So it's not even really it's really a project management software. So. I had separate software for my accounting, separate for my proposals. Like I had 5 different softwares that don't communicate, which is crazy, but that's how you did it back in 2015.
Yep. I mean, people are trying to do that now with the vibe coding crap that's been going on. And it's like, dude, it's tough, man. Yeah. It's tough out there right now with doing that crap.
Yeah, and then the vibe coding is it looks good, but it doesn't really work that well, as from my experience. You need to be
doing it for small use cases.
Yep. Yeah, you could have it spit out some reports and show nice graphics and stuff like that. There's certain things that I think
little things, micro stuff, micro stuff, can't run a whole business on it.
No, absolutely. So what else would you say? I mean, as far as contractors, I mean, you talk to so many contractors. So what other roadblocks do you see?
Branding is very important now too, especially with SEO nowadays, because SEO has turned into AEO, where everywhere you need to be everywhere. Yep. You need to be posting on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, because Google's now taking, or ChatGPT, whatever you're using, is now taking data from everywhere. So it's important to be everywhere. We changed a lot of our SOPs where citations are way more important than they used to be, or directory listings. So we're doing way more directory listings for clients and getting them listed on way more sites, like Yelp, like Foursquare, those are directory listings. But you also need to be posting all over social media, because now Google is taking data from literally everywhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw that firsthand. I mean, one of the things I did in my last business was I had a VA that would be posting on Facebook every day, and he would link the town they were working in, plus the photos were taking in that town. So, I mean, people back then were like, oh, it doesn't really make a difference. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm ranking really well. If
now you look at my, now it makes a huge difference. Another thing I like for contractors now is okay, I live in Boca Raton, Florida. Taking a video, if you're a roofer, taking a video like this, hey, it's Bodhi with Bodhi's Roofing in Boca Raton, Florida. We're doing this roof today by Royal Palm Beach, whatever. If you need your roof inspected, let us know. We're in the neighborhood. Reels like that, where you're talking to the algorithm, will actually show up to people in your area you're talking about. It'll show up to Boca Raton homeowners. The algorithm is so strong now that if you can get on camera, talk about the service you offer, what you're doing, where you're doing it, you're going to be way ahead of your competitors, because it's going to show up right in front of your target market.
Yep. No, 100% agree with that. That's actually one of the things that I'm really concentrating on is, when I did my deep dive and I found the 80 closest competitors, I looked at every website. I did a manual review of each website. None of them had video content, not one of them. So I'm like, all right, this is easy layup for me. So now I'm just going really hard on video content.
Yeah, you should go hard on it. You're good on camera. Dude, go fucking hard on it. Trust me, go hard on it. That's where the world's going. You need video content. It rips. It rips.
I try to explain this to some of my consulting clients. I mean, I started video from my environmental business in 2020, and when I tell you, I didn't have a lot of subscribers. It wasn't about a follower count. It was about the fact that people would watch my videos and they would call my office the guy with the beard. Can I talk to that guy with the beard? And then I'd get on the phone and I'd just close and instantly. They're like, yeah, I'm done. They're like, I feel like I could sell your service because how much you've educated me.
Yeah. No, it's so smart. And then if you want to take it to the next level. Okay, let's say you post 30 reels a week and one of those goes viral. Yep. Not viral in your market, just let's say your average reel is 500 views, 500 views, 500 views. One gets 5,000.
Yep.
Take that 5,000 reel, put a CTA at the end of it, and run it in a 25-mile radius as a Facebook ad, spending $100 a day, let's say.
Yes, yep.
So if you do that, if the organic algorithm likes it, the paid algorithm will like it 10 times more, and then you'll start getting leads from it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting you said. That's exactly
what big Gary V thing. I know he's from your area.
Yes,
that area. That's a big Gary V thing right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Gary's parents live out by me in Hunter County, and he's from Springfield. We own our business in Kenilworth, own property in Kenilworth. So yeah, he's like a neighbor. But no, 100%. I mean, I feel like so that's one of the things I do is I take same thing. I take the winner and I run it in actually YouTube ads. A lot of people don't realize this. It's YouTube's owned by Google. You can run keyword specific ads. So if someone's typing in roofer near me, now I'm just going to show my reel to people in a 20-mile radius that typed in roofer, which is huge for branding because now they're starting to see your face.
Sorry for interrupting. Even taking YouTube videos and putting them on your website, huge.
Yep. Well, bro, it's so funny you say it because I showed your guys and they were like, "Holy shit!" They're like, "I don't know if I've seen a contractor do that yet." Because
they like your directories too. They really like your directories too.
Yeah, which I saw you write about that, which I want to talk about that because I think that's a great idea as well, and I'm kind of running with that and seeing where it goes. But the YouTube. So just for everybody's listening, what I do is I take my long form, I put it on I have a knowledge center that people could click on. They go in there, they see my YouTube video, but I transcribe it and I kind of turn it into almost like a blog. Brilliant. So now the algorithms can read that in content, and it's fresh content. It's new. It's not AI written. It's literally written by me. It's my voice. It's me talking, and I feel like that's going to be huge for rankings. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that. No, that's awesome. I loved your directory thing too. And if you have a lot of local businesses you're friends with in your area, you need to let us know. We should definitely exchange backlinks with them.
Yes. Well, that was the whole point. So I started this directory. So going back to the office, I didn't need the office space. I'm like, all right, well, I need it for Google. So let me get it. So now I got this empty office space. What do I do with it? I'm like, all right, well, I like podcasts. I'm like, screw it. I'll do an in-person podcast studio because everything I've done is virtual. I'm like, let me do in-person. And now my clients, my audience is homeowners. So how do I get to homeowners? Well, I'm going to present local home service professionals. So I call it the Jersey Home Pro Podcast.
Brilliant, bro.
And I'm bringing these home service contractors in. I'm giving them a platform, which to be honest, it's kind of crazy how many guys have turned me down because I'm like, they're afraid to get on camera. I'm like, bro, you don't realize
how much I'm working on. I was afraid to get on camera a year ago, bro. Now I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's amazing, bro. The how much leverage it has. You'll see over the next 12, 24 months. I mean, it's the biggest leverage.
People want to see you're a real person.
Yes, yeah. Because then they're like, oh, I relate to this guy. Like, you know how I'm like, oh, this guy's kind of from my area. I can relate to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you're not on person, like I'm just reading your content. It's like, yeah, I can relate to what you're saying. But no, when you see people on camera, it's a game changer. I've had experience with it. I push it on a lot of my clients. But yeah, so I'm inviting these home service guys in. I have like a waterproofing guy. I have a chimney guy. I had electrician. So I had a couple different guys that I had in my own personal network, and now I'm starting to invite these guys in, and then I'm asking them to put a link. I'm like, hey, give me a link on your, put on your blog and then link it back to this episode or whatever. But one of the things I read about somewhere, I think it was in your post actually, about checking what their domain authority is. So that's actually something I didn't really think about. So now I'm like, all right, so I hired a VA.
You helping them.
Yes.
And not them helping you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. No, exactly. Yeah. So now I want to I'm going to look at my list of contractors. I pulled the list of, I think, 5,000 contractors in my area, 7 counties, in home services. So any contractor that works around a house. And now I'm going to have a VA run that list and run it through to see what the domain authority is and then actually target those guys with high domain authorities. As opposed to just blanket inviting anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's the way to go. That's smart. That's literally the way to go. We used to do that with franchise. I like working with franchises. I hate it and love it at the same time because of the domain authorities. Like, it's so easy to boost a franchise on Google Maps. They just have such bad SEOs. Like, we just take over a disaster, and we have a lot of results with franchise companies.
Yeah, I guess the question I would have for you as far as the directory, I mean, I've heard some people tell me they've had some mixed reviews about it. They're like, well, it could confuse the algorithm of Google. They don't know if you're a roofing company or a directory. You might want to separate the two. What are your thoughts?
I would separate the two off your website. I agree with that. I would 100%. I would 100% separate.
So that's something I'm going to have my developer do. Yeah,
and something you should have your developer do when you make that directory, buy a shit ton of links on that directory.
Okay.
Shit ton of links. Doesn't matter if they're Indian links. It doesn't matter. Cheap links. Boost that domain authority, and then link it to your website, and then you're cooking. It's called powering up tier 2 links. So what you do is you take a single website, like a directory, you push a ton of backlinks to that directory to increase the domain authority, then link that directory to your business's website.
Yeah. And now is that something similar to like Brand Push? Have you heard of that company before? Where they can put
I know Brand Push. Yeah, they do more PR though. They do more PR stuff.
So you're talking specifically backlinks.
I wouldn't do Brand Push. I would literally go on Fiverr and buy shitty backlinks that boost your domain authority.
Yeah, but separate it, so it doesn't affect my rankings for the roofing company. Okay.
Yeah, it's called a tier 2 link.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, I thought it was, I'm like thinking like, all right, how do I think outside of the box? The other part of it is like referral partnerships, right? So these guys are working around homes. I'm like, all right, you're a contractor, forget chimney guy, home inspector. You guys are looking at roofs every day. Let's build a relationship. Let me shake your hand, provide you value. I'm editing this. I'm putting it out there on my site, and then I'm offering them, hey, do you want to run some ads on my YouTube channel? Let's run some ads, And so if they want, they can. Most of these guys are like, dude, these guys are like old school, man. They're like, I don't know about that. I'm like,
That's the problem with the Northeast. That's the beauty and the problem. Yeah. No, I love that part about the Northeast because there's a lot of these old guys that just won't do that shit, Yeah. But in a place like Dallas, anywhere in Texas, like it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even start a business there.
It's so hard. Yeah. The competition.
So hard, dude.
Yep. Yeah, no, this has been awesome, man. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to add about Stryker? I mean, we kind of
that's pretty much it. I enjoyed talking to you just organically, Like I love coming on podcasts with people like yourself because like we just had a conversation, Like people will get value out of this for sure, and like we just had a simple conversation. But no, nothing really. Just if you want to follow me on Twitter at iRentDumpsters, and then my company Stryker Digital. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, guys, check him out. He's awesome. He puts out a ton of content on Twitter, on X, and yeah, man, I look forward to working with you guys and seeing where this goes over the next 12 months.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me, and yeah, look forward to working with you too.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.